Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 2:04.651. Racer XTC posted 1:58.852 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 490 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 490 minutes left in this practice session. Racer XTC has a best lap time of 1:58.364. Armin Sunoiler is on their practice out lap. Megasaurus 55 is getting to grips with the Escort in this practice session. It's a lovely day for racing here at Oulton Park International as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. With just 483 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Richard Rossier is on their practice out lap. Racer XTC posted a 1:59.301 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? It's a lovely day for racing here at Oulton Park International as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Richard Rossier is on their first practice flying lap. Racer XTC posted 7:20.541 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? There are just over 480 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 480 minutes left in this practice session. Racer XTC has a best lap time of 1:58.364. Armin Sunoiler is on their practice out lap. Racer XTC has a best lap time of 1:58.364. Richard Rossier posted a 2:04.466 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Megasaurus 55 posted 2:02.922 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armin Sunoiler is getting to grips with the Mark I Escort in this practice session. With just 476 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. D-Max is in Island Bend. There are just over 475 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 475 minutes left in this practice session. Racer XTC has a best lap time of 1:57.971. Megasaurus 55 posted a 2:01.274 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Racer XTC posted 2:09.474 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 473 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:05.102. It's a lovely day for racing here at Oulton Park International as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Lars is on their first practice flying lap. Superman is on their practice out lap. There are just over 470 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 470 minutes left in this practice session. Puppy Dog from Hell has a best lap time of 2:04.651. It's a lovely day for racing here at Oulton Park International as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Lars is getting to grips with the Escort RS in this practice session. Richard Rossier posted a 2:01.895 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Chris Ilduke is in Water Tower. Armin Sunoiler posted 2:02.838 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 466 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Armin Sunoiler has a best lap time of 2:02.838. There are just over 465 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 465 minutes left in this practice session. Puppy Dog from Hell posted a 2:15.331 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Armin Sunoiler posted 2:00.974 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? With just 463 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Megasaurus 55 has a best lap time of 1:59.505. D-Max posted a 2:06.038 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Richard Rossier has a best lap time of 2:01.228. With just 461 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Stefano Canonica has a best lap time of 2:00.294. There are just over 460 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 460 minutes left in this practice session. Lars posted a 2:04.932 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Superman posted 2:00.186 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Mike O'Hagan is on their first practice flying lap. With just 458 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Stefano Canonica has a best lap time of 1:59.010. Superman has a best lap time of 2:00.186. Let's get this qualifying session underway here at Oulton Park International.
Strap in, folks, because we're in for a wild ride.
You can feel the tension building. Roll Postma is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Rob, but I have a feeling Royal Postma is going to make it count.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Armin Sunoiler is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Armin Sunoiler handles it.
This is where the mental game comes into play. Superman is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Chris Ilduke is on their outlap. It looks like Superman is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Royal Postma is not going to be happy about that.
There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 10 minutes left in this qualification session. It's clear that Stefano Canonica is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit. This is what it's all about. Richard Rossio is putting on a show for the fans in this qualifying session. You can feel the tension building. Mike O'Hagan is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. It's all about strategy in these early moments. Chris Il-Duke is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
Oh dear, puppy dog from hell has had an incident. This is where the mental game comes into play. Puppy dog from hell is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
Chris Duke is on their outlap.
Patience is key in these early moments, Rob, but I have a feeling Chris Duck is going to make it count.
It looks like Megasaurus 55 is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Megasaurus 55 can deliver.
Looks like that's a mistake from Lars. This could be costly.
Oulton Park International is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
I don't know about you, but I think Hippie might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do, right, Rob? Hippie is just showing us all.
Breaking alert. I don't think that's the fastest way around Oulton Park International. Superman is not as quick as they were hoping for. They're going to need to dig deep and find some extra pace on this next one if they want to move up the grid.
Looks like Superman is really cooking with gas out there today.
Time to bring out the marshmallows and let's toast some fuel. I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Hippie going at lightning speed. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Woohoo! Armin Sanoila is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go.
Is it just me, or does it feel like we're watching a superhero in action here?
Armin Sanoila is absolutely smashing it. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Chris Duke is nailing both. Someone call the fire department, because Megasaurus 55 is setting this track on fire with their performance. The adrenaline is pumping. Puppy Dog from Hell is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. I don't know about you, but I think Megasaurus 55 might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast. Mike O'Hagan is on their first flying. braking development. That won't be ideal for Mr. Bang. You can feel the tension building. Mr. Bang is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Mike O'Hagan is rising to the occasion. This is where the mental game comes into play. Mr. Bang is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Mr. Bang handles it.
Roll Postma has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. Can they capitalize on this position and use it as a launching pad for a stronger race performance? Hold on a second. Oh dear, Serrato has had an incident. It's been a challenging day for Serrato in qualifying. They currently sit in 15th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. Serrato is facing a tough challenge, but they are known for their fighting spirit. This qualifying session is a test of their character, and I believe they have what it takes to overcome this setback.
A tough outing for Mr. Bang in qualifying today. They currently sit in 14th position, which is far from ideal. However, there's a chance for them to regroup, analyze their data, and make some adjustments to their setup to improve their result. And there goes Richard Rossier, currently in position 10. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
I completely agree, Rob. Richard Rossier has positioned themselves impressively in 10th. However, it's crucial for them to keep pushing to potentially improve their starting position.
A solid qualifying performance by Roll Postma, positioning them in 5th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
Absolutely, Rob. Royal Postma has put in a remarkable effort to secure 5th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
It's an impressive showing by Stefano Canonica, currently in 3rd. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? A challenging session for Chris Ilduke so far. They're currently in 13th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result. It's been a challenging hold on a second. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. Stefano Canonica has positioned themselves well in 3rd during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. Stefano Canonica has put in a great effort and currently holds 3rd. With the session winding down, can they unleash their full potential and improve their starting position? Welcome to Great Britain, where we're racing on home turf today. The drivers are ready to tear up the track at Oulton Park, International. Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Superman to take control of the race. We see Mike O'Hagan sitting in the second spot.
Mike O'Hagan will be ready to show what they're made of.
Stefano Canonica is going to be starting from third. Racer XTC lines up in fourth place as the engines rev and the race begins. Roll Postma is fifth,
putting that Escort into prime position for the race.
Sitting in sixth is Megasaurus 55.
But they can't afford to be complacent. This is race day after all.
Lars is placed in seventh. Starting from 8th on the grid is a good position for Armin Sunoiler to launch an attack.
They'll be looking for a clean race.
Richard Rossier will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 9th on the grid. Puppy Dog from Hell is lining up 10th. Chris Duke has some work to do from 11th on the grid, but they're not out of the race yet. Starting from 12th on the grid is a bit of a mixed bag for Mr. Bang.
But they've got the skills to make something happen.
Starting from 12th on the grid is not ideal for Serrato, but they're a fighter.
We've seen great results from here. What has Serrato got in store for us?
Wayne Pearson will need to be on top of their game starting from 14th on the grid. The race has begun, full throttle ahead. This first lap is crucial, as drivers need to establish their position early on.
Staying out of trouble in these early moments is crucial. It's a fine line between pushing hard and staying safe.
Having started in 1, Superman will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
I'm looking forward to burning some rubber here, Rob.
These early salvos will shape the outcome of this race. It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today. All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up.
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended there, Rob.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Assetto Corsa friends for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
I for one am really excited, Rob. The rivalry between Superman and Stefano Canonica has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Oulton Park, International, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form of GPS navigation.
Let's hope the other drivers don't follow suit. We might end up with a bumper car race instead of a high-speed competition.
At least we'd have something to fall back on. If we ever get bored of regular racing, bumper cars might be the next big thing.
You know, Hal, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Rob. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
Roll Postma could be looking for a way up the inside of Mike O'Hagan. Hold your breath, folks. Roll Postma is sandwiched between two relentless competitors. Racer XTC 0.2 seconds behind and Mike O'Hagan 0.2 seconds ahead. They're fighting tooth and nail for every position.
I couldn't agree more, Rob. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind provide valuable information for Royal Postman. They need to assess the situation and use the gaps strategically to plan their moves.
The gap between Racer XTC and Roll Postma is razor thin as they vie for third in this nail-biting contest.
This battle between Racer XTC and Royal Postma is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
It's looking good for Racer XTC, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Roll Postma.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. As they speed through Hilltop, Armin Sunoiler is relentlessly pursuing Megasaurus 55 in a high-stakes battle for position. An impressive showing from Armin Sunoiler, who has gained positions and left Megasaurus 55 in the dust. The intensity is off the charts as Puppy Dog from Hell hounds Megasaurus 55, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. Superb driving from Puppy Dog from Hell, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
That's what we like to see. Puppy Dog from Hell is really showing their class today.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
It's going to be a close one. Mike O'Hagan will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
Heartbreak for Mike O'Hagan as they slip down the field. A setback for Mike O'Hagan, who has just been passed.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Mike O'Hagan needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
They're going side by side, door handle to door handle. This is as close as it gets, folks. Who will have the courage to outbrake the others?
You're absolutely right, Rob. The different strategies employed by these drivers add another layer of excitement. It's fascinating to see how they adapt their approach to gain a competitive edge.
Talk about pressure. Wayne Pearson is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both. Hold up, breaking info. Looks like that's a mistake from Wayne Pearson. This could be costly. The gap between Wayne Pearson and Serrato is not insurmountable, but it's going to take a mistake from Wayne Pearson to bring Serrato into play. Anyone who says that Assetto Corsa Friends is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
The pressure is on for Chris Ilduke as they try to catch up to Richard Rossier.
Who will be able to maintain their pace and come out on top?
Crikey, Chris Ilduke is losing touch with Richard Rossier quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
There's still a shot for Chris Ilduke, but they need to get the bit between their teeth and fight back against Richard Rossier.
It's an intense battle for position as Stefano Canonica tries to outmaneuver Superman. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
You know what they say, keep your friends close and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Stefano Canonica is taking that advice to heart today.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Stefano Canonica gaining places and Superman losing them. Serrato seems to be putting the pressure on Wayne Pearson.
There is no room for error in this battle.
Serrato and Wayne Pearson have a gap between them that's growing like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 0.5 seconds now.
Serrato's got to really hit the gas in Warwick Bridge to make up some ground on Wayne Pearson before they become a speck in the rear view.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
With the way Armin Sunoiler is stalking Lars, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
It's not going to plan for Armin Sunoiler. They are still behind Lars and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now.
Armin Sunoiler is really going to need to push in Lakeside to try and gain some ground on Lars before they disappear into the sunset.
Armin Sunoiler seems to be losing the plot with Lars. They'll need to buck up their ideas as they dive into Shell Oil's corner and aim for a ripper exit to gain some ground. The battle for 9 is heating up as Puppy Dog from Hell tries to catch Richard Rossier in P9. Puppy Dog from Hell is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Richard Rossier at the moment. It's not coming up roses for Puppy Dog from Hell. They're trailing Richard Rossier and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
This is a tough situation for Puppy Dog from Hell. They need to find a way to pick up some speed and close that gap.
The excitement is palpable. This is going to be a race for the ages.
The drivers are executing their strategies to perfection, making the most of every opportunity. This is what top-level racing is all about.
Roll Postma is running third. They are trying to catch Stefano Canonica. The gap between Roll... Hold that thought, hold the phone. That won't be ideal for Megasaurus 55. Megasaurus 55 is placed 14th at the moment.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Things are going according to plan for Puppy Dog from Hell, who is currently 11th. A tough moment for Puppy Dog from Hell, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 11th.
That's got to be frustrating, but Puppy Dog from Hell is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
Hippie is so close to Lars that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tank.
Breaking news, folks. I don't think that's the fastest way around Oulton Park International.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's only blowing at 10 kilometers per hour out there right now.
It may seem like Mike O'Hagan is far behind, but Hippie can't afford to let their guard down. One mistake could give Mike O'Hagan an opening to catch up. It's a game of inches now as Superman tails Roll Postma closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. Well, I'll be a monkey's Uncle Hal, but Superman's plans have gone walkabout right now. They're having a proper Barry Crocker keeping up with Roll Postma. The action is non-stop as Wayne Pearson shadows Serrato through every twist and turn, determined to claim 12th.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Wayne Pearson must be laser-focused on Serrato's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Serrato is expanding faster than a bull's waistline. It's now a whopping 0.9 seconds.
It ain't over till it's over, but Wayne Pearson needs to kick it into high gear if they hope to catch Serrato's taillights.
Coming into Warwick Bridge, the fight for third is heating up. Who will be the first to blink? Great driving from Roll Postma, who has just gained a place and moved up to third.
Absolutely, Roll Postma is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Disappointing for Roll Postma, then braking development. OG Roll Postma has had an incident.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they've been looking at a decent result.
Roll Postma is placed third at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Superman, who is 1.8 seconds behind. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Pup. Hold that thought, hold the phone. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. It doesn't seem like things are going to plan for Puppy Dog from Hell as they have a big gap ahead of them to close at this point in time. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown? Fantastic move from Superman, who has just gained a position.
You can't argue with results like that. Superman is really making their mark on this race.
Lars is giving it their all as they chase down Armin Sunoiler in P5.
Can Lars close the 0.8 second gap and make a pass?
Good news for Lars, the gap to Armin Sunoiler has decreased. It's now down to 0.4 seconds.
That's a great effort from Lars. They need to keep up the pressure and see if they can make a move.
Looks like Wayne Pearson is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
Tough break for Wayne Pearson, who has just lost a position.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. Wayne Pearson needs to stay calm and focused and make their move when the time is right.
The pursuit is on. Puppy Dog from Hell is closing the gap on Wayne Pearson, determined to claim P13. It seems like Puppy Dog from Hell is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Can Puppy Dog from Hell refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
The race is heating up as Hippie in 9th closes in on Richard Rossier. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. A great moment for Hippie, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. What a move. Hippie has moved up to 9th. The race is really heating up. Puppy Dog from Hell is hunting down Wayne Pearson with everything they've got.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
The gap between Puppy Dog from Hell and Wayne Pearson is widening. It's now up to 1.0 seconds. Well, don't come the raw prawn. Puppy Dog from Hell's giving it some stick, pulling Wayne Pearson into a mere 0.6 seconds. Superb driving from Puppy Dog from Hell, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Things are heating up as Wayne Pearson tries to close the gap to Puppy Dog from Hell.
It's a game of strategy now, as Wayne Pearson hunts down Puppy Dog from Hell. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
The gap between Wayne Pearson and Puppy Dog from Hell is growing. It's now up to 1.0 seconds.
Wayne Pearson's got a hill to climb, but there's no quit in him. They gotta keep on trucking and hope Puppy Dog from Hell takes a wrong turn.
As we enjoy seeing these titans of the track battle it out, let's not forget about the pit crews. Those guys and girls are like a well-oiled machine themselves.
Absolutely. They're the unsung heroes of the racing world. But you know what they say, behind every great driver is an even greater pit crew.
The gap between Armin Suneuler and Lars may be wide, but that doesn't mean Armin Suneuler is safe. They have to keep their concentration and avoid any lapses in performance.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
The tension is building as Wayne Pearson trails behind Puppy Dog from Hell. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Can Puppy Dog from Hell hold on, or will Wayne Pearson be able to close them down?
Absolutely, Wayne Pearson in 14th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Mike O'Hagan is right on the heels of Lars, and we're in for a wild ride. Looking at the lap times, Mike O'Hagan is not on pace with Lars. Can they turn it around? This is what high-octane racing looks like. Roel Postma is breathing down the neck of Superman, not giving him any room to relax.
Should things go awry, Roel Postma and Superman might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
Mike O'Hagan has the pedal to the metal chasing Lars. It seems like Mike O'Hagan is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Lars's. Oh my, Roel Postma is hot on the tail of Superman. As they come into Warwick Bridge, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside. A great pass for Roel Postma as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Superman has lost ground. A brilliant maneuver from Roel Postma, who has just moved up the field.
Impressive. Roel Postma is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Megasaurus 55 is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. With just 0.4 seconds between them, will Megasaurus 55 be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. If Chris Iljuk doesn't pick up the pace, hell, they'll be as relevant as an ashtray on a motorbike. I tell you what, Chris Iljuk has got more problems than a maths book right now. Megasaurus 55 is leaving M in a cloud of dust.
The race ain't over, but Chris Iljuk needs to put their foot down and chase Megasaurus 55 like a hound after a hare.
We often hear drivers complaining about tire graining. Hal, can you explain what that means and how it affects car handling?
Graining occurs when small rubber particles roll up on the tire's surface, reducing grip and negatively affecting handling. It usually happens when the tires are not in their optimal temperature window or when a driver is pushing too hard on a cold or overworked tire.
This is what racing is all about, two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
If Superman gets any closer to Royal Postma, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
It looks like Royal Postma is pulling away from Superman. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Warwick Bridge. The drivers are showing their mettle today. It's a privilege to witness their skill on this challenging track.
The stakes have never been higher. This is a battle of skill and nerves.
That's right. These drivers are really pushing themselves to the limit, and it's incredible to see the level of focus and determination they're bringing to the track.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of courage to compete at this level, and these drivers have it in spades. Let's hope they can keep it up and give us a race to remember.
During your racing career, Hal, did you have any... Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. So, Hal, considering the high speeds and split-second decision-making involved in racing, what's the impact of even a minor lapse in concentration?
A minor lapse in concentration can have significant consequences, Rob. It could lead to an off-track excursion, a loss of position, or even a collision. That's why it's crucial for drivers to stay focused and alert throughout the race.
A strong showing from Megasaurus 55, who is currently 10th.
Definitely, but they can't get too comfortable. There are plenty of other drivers who are gunning for that position, and Megasaurus 55 has to keep pushing to stay on the pace.
Impressive stuff from Megasaurus 55, who has managed to pull away from Chris Duke, leaving them choking in their exhaust fumes. Superman is on a mission, chasing Royal Postma, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Superman's falling behind Royal Postma at a rate of knots. They're going to need some serious pedal power to close that gap. Superman is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 1.04 seconds down.
Can Superman refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
Oh, we've got trouble here. Royal Postma is coming up fast on Superman, but it looks like they're going too fast to make that maneuver. Three cars, three different racing strategies. One driver is defending, while the other two are relentlessly attacking. Who will come out on top?
I couldn't agree more, Rob. The proximity of these cars is incredible. The precision and trust these...
Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from Chris Duke. This could be costly. It's looking good for Chris Duke, sitting in 13th.
Definitely, Rob. But they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
Oh dear, Chris Duke has dropped down to 14th.
Definitely. But Chris Duke is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
A setback for Chris Duke, who has just been passed. This is where the race gets really interesting. Mike O'Hagan is closing in on Royal Postma. It seems like Mike O'Hagan has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Royal Postma's lap time there.
As long as Mike O'Hagan can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
Mike O'Hagan could be on a charge here. Hal, they have just put in a quicker lap than Royal Postma.
The question is now, can Royal Postma respond to that in kind? They are going to have to pick up the pace.
As a former driver, Hal, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Rob. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Superman is right behind Mike O'Hagan, keeping the pressure on for 4th place. Heartbreak for Superman as they slip down the field. Every move counts now as Mike O'Hagan works to reel in Royal Postma and overtake for P3. It's game on now. Mike O'Hagan has closed the gap to Royal Postma. It's now down to 0.3 seconds. Hang on to your cork hats, mate. Hold on a second. That won't be ideal for Lars.
Whoops, Lars is going to be kicking themselves.
It's a battle of wills out there, with Lars trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Hippie. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Will we see a dramatic finish to this race?
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Hippie is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Lars and P8 doing everything they can to catch up.
A solid performance from Hippie, who is holding down 8th. A tough moment for Hippie, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 8th.
That's got to hurt. Hippie will be kicking themselves right now.
Tough break for Hippie, who has just lost a position. Hippie has just dropped the ball. Richard Rossier didn't waste any time taking advantage of that.
Absolutely. They need to rethink their approach and come up with something new, or they risk losing even more ground. On the other hand, Richard Rossier has been making some impressive moves and looks like a serious contender.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Richard Rossier is chasing Hippie in P9.
This is where every inch counts. Richard Rossier is pushing hard to close the gap on Hippie. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
Things are heating up as Hippie closes in on Megasaurus 55. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. It's like Racer XTC has saved all their energy for this final stretch. And it's a checkered flag for Racer XTC, who crosses the finish line with a commanding victory. What a phenomenal performance, absolutely dominant today.
What a result for Racer XTC. They'll be absolutely thrilled with that performance, and rightly so. They really put in the work and it's paid off in spades.
A nail-biting finish, but Stefano Canonica claims second place. Excellent focus from Mike O'Hagan to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
What a drive, well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance.
It's a beautifully calm day here at Oulton Park International as we're getting ready to kick things off. Starting in pole position gives Serrato a clear advantage over the rest of the field.
But it's also a nightmare if they can't hold on to it. Let's see how they will handle the pressure.
Lining up in second is Richard Rossier. Megasaurus 55 will begin the race from the third spot on the starting grid. Sitting in fourth, it's Lars. It's Roll Postma, sitting comfortably in fifth. Starting from the sixth position, Superman will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win.
Superman is going to show us something special, I'm sure of it.
Our seventh place starter, Armin Sunoiler, is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track.
They've got the heart of a lion, and they won't back down from a challenge.
As the engines roar to life, Mike O'Hagan prepares to take off from the 8th position on the starting grid.
Who knows, they could be the dark horse that steals the show.
Stefano Canonica is going to be starting from 9th. Hippie has qualified 10th.
But they're going to have to time their moves just right if they want to come out on top.
Mr. Bang may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot. Puppy Dog from Hell may have a bit of work to do starting from 12th on the grid.
But they're going to have to be aggressive if they want to make up ground on the leaders.
Chris Ilduke is going to be starting from 13th. Starting from 14th on the grid is a tough ask for D-Max, but they're up for the challenge. Wayne Pearson has got their work cut out for them starting from 15th on the grid, and the green flag drops. The race is officially underway.
These opening moments can make or break a driver's race. Strategy and skill are key to navigating this intense start.
This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it. There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is looking to get off to a good start. The drivers are jockeying for position. Wayne Pearson will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Oulton Park. International, this is going to be good to watch.
The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
It all comes down to this, Rob, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can. Now it comes down to Wayne Pearson to bring it home.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position? Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race.
Like gladiators, they enter Rob. But instead of lions and swords, our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
It's going to be tough. Mr. Bang is a master at defending their position. Is there enough time for Puppy Dog from Hell to make a move? They're going to be even more determined to hold on to that position. The adrenaline is pumping as Superman gets within striking distance of Roll Postma in their race for first.
If Superman pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
This is what it's all about, folks. Hippie is in hot pursuit of Armin Sunoiler, who's just trying to stay ahead.
That's right. Hippie is determined to pass Armin Sunoiler and secure a higher position.
Breaking update. Oh dear, Armin Sunoiler has had an incident. Armin Sunoiler has a mountain to climb at the moment to close that gap with Hippie. I expect their only hope at this point is that Hippie makes an error.
Anything can happen yet, and it usually does. I've certainly seen drivers come back from worse.
The crowd is on its feet as Serrato chases down Chris Ilduke through Shell Oil's corner.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect. But let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
Great driving from Serrato, who has just gained a place and moved up to 7th. A great moment for Serrato, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
That's what we like to see. Serrato is really showing their class today.
You know, Hal, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Rob. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
Hold up, breaking info. I don't think that's the fastest way around Oulton Park International. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Richard Rossier trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Wayne Pearson. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Richard Rossier close in enough to mount a challenge?
It's going to be tough for Richard Rossier, as Wayne...
Hold on a moment. Looks like that's a mistake from Roll Postma. This could be costly.
Oulton Park International is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
We're watching Roll Postma in third, and is currently being hounded by Lars with a gap of just 0.1 seconds.
It's an intense race between these two drivers, and Lars is going to have to try something here.
Oh, the frustration must be building for Roll Postma. They've just lost third position to Lars, and they're going to have to work hard to get it back. Breaking news, folks. Superb driving from Roll Postma, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Wow, Lars is really pushing hard to catch up to Roll Postma. There's blood in the water for third place. Oh, this is getting intense. D-Max is just behind Puppy Dog from Hell.
Should things go south between D-Max and Puppy Dog from Hell, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Big gains for D-Max as they move up the field, leaving Puppy Dog from Hell behind.
Definitely, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. D-Max needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Mike O'Hagan gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
It seems like Mike O'Hagan is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. Braking alert. That won't be ideal for Megasaurus 55. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Megasaurus 55 will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops. The intensity is off the charts as Armin Sunoiler hounds Richard Rossier, both drivers pushing themselves to the braking alert. Oh dear, Serrato has had an incident. Looks like we might have a great battle starting here between Serrato in 7th and D-Max. It's being tense with a gap of only 0.4 seconds. Look at this, Hal, what a shame for Serrato. They've lost P7 to D-Max, and that's got to hurt.
Yes, they've got to dig deep and find some extra speed if they want to get back into contention. But D-Max is really on a roll right now and is making some great moves. It's going to be a fascinating battle from here on out.
Things don't seem to be going Richard Rossier's way in this race, as that's a big gap they'll have to close to even be in with a shout for gaining a place here.
They certainly aren't going to be close enough to mount any kind of challenge soon, unless it's down to a mistake from Mr. Bang.
Seems like Chris Il-Duke is getting in range of Megasaurus 55.
Can they make it pass without taking the paint off?
It's a close race between Armin Sunoiler and Wayne Pearson in 11th. Oh dear, Armin Sunoiler has dropped down to 12th. Disappointing for Armin Sunoiler, they now find themselves in 12th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Armin
Breaking news, folks. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Chris Il-Duke is not going to be happy about that.
The action is heating up here as Chris Il-Duke is in 10th, defending from Wayne Pearson, who is only 0.6 seconds away. Wow, it's a close race for 11th. Hippie is ahead with Chris Il-Duke right on their tail with a gap of only 0.2 seconds. Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners. It's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
Haha, I bet they were. Hold up, breaking info. A brilliant maneuver from Hippie, who has just moved up the field.
Yes, Hippie is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
This is a thrilling battle as Armin Sunoiler edges closer to Chris Il-Duke in their fight for P11.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Armin Sunoiler needs to stay patient and wait for Chris Il-Duke to make a mistake.
What a move. Armin Sunoiler has moved up to 11th.
Absolutely. Armin Sunoiler is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
And Armin Sunoiler has just lost the place to Chris Iljuk. Look at that, Puppy Dog from Hell is hot on the tail of D-Max.
The gap between them is now just over 0.6 seconds. Who will come out on top?
The gap between Serato and Puppy Dog from Hell is razor thin as they vie for 7th in this nail-biting contest. Fantastic move from Serato, who has just gained a position.
You can't argue with results like that. Serato is really making their mark on this race.
It's a brilliant day for racing, and the drivers are putting on a show.
Absolutely. What a great race we are witnessing today. These drivers are giving it their all, and it's a thrill to watch them compete at this level.
They're really pushing themselves and their machines to the limit, and it's paying off with some incredible driving.
It's a pleasure to be here today, Rob. You really can't beat the excitement of a good race, especially one as competitive as this.
Oh, this is getting intense. Mike O'Hagan is just a few car lengths behind Lars. The battle for 6 is heating up as Serato tries to catch D-Max in P6.
The mental game is just as important here. Serato must keep their cool while putting pressure on D-Max.
It looks like Mike O'Hagan is all over Lars. I think they are going to press him through Knickersbrick and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Rob. That's exactly what I would be doing here, as Lars is going to be aware of them riding their bumper.
And Mike O'Hagan has just won the place from Lars. The pursuit is on. Serato is closing the gap on D-Max, determined to claim P6. A great moment for Serato, who, breaking news, folks, looks like that's a mistake from D-Max. This could be costly. The gap between Serato and D-Max is pretty substantial right now. It's probably going to take a mistake from Serato to even allow D-Max to get a look in.
Every race adds to a driver's experience, both good and bad. It just highlights that D-Max is going to have to get more serious with practice if they don't want to be outclassed on the circuit.
Wayne Pearson wants to close that gap with Hippie. I don't think that's the fastest way around Oulton Park International.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's only blowing at 4 km/h out there right now.
This is going to be a nail-biter. Mr. Bang is defending for their life, but Richard Rossio is right there. Can they do it? It's true what they say, Hal. You're never completely useless.
Indeed, Rob, you can always be used as a bad example.
It looks like Mike O'Hagan is pushing hard to catch up to Roll Postma. The gap is over a second, but Mike O'Hagan is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Roll Postma? It's not looking good for Mike O'Hagan. They are still behind Roll Postma and the gap is increasing. They are going to need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around. Mike O'Hagan has just put in a faster lap than Roll Postma, so that's going to give them something to worry about. The crowd is on tenterhooks as Wayne Pearson in 9th chases after Hippie. The gap is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Can Wayne Pearson find a way to catch up?
That's right. Wayne Pearson in 9th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Hippie is no slouch and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
The best laid plans of mice and men, ha, but it's certainly not going to plan for Wayne Pearson right now as they are struggling to keep up with Hippie. Wayne Pearson's on the back foot here, struggling to keep up with Hippie like a dingo after a roadrunner.
This is where the mental toughness of Wayne Pearson comes into play. They need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
It seems like Mike O'Hagan has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Roll Postma's lap time there.
We will have to see if Roll Postma has got any answers for that.
Crikey, Mike O'Hagan is losing touch with Roll Postma quicker than a kangaroo on a trampoline.
This is where the rubber meets the road for Mike O'Hagan. They got to keep their eyes on the prize and their foot on the gas, even when the odds are stacked against them.
It's all about consistency for Serato, who is currently 6th.
That's right. They can't afford to make any mistakes or let up in their performance. Every point counts in this championship.
As they speed through Lakeside, Hippie is relentlessly pursuing Serato in a high-stakes battle for position.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration calculated to perfection.
A setback for Hippie, who has just been passed.
That's got to be frustrating. But Hippie is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
Heartbreak for Hippie as they slip down the field. Mike O'Hagan is running third. They are trying to catch Roll Postma.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Mike O'Hagan needs to be careful not to overdo it.
Fair dinkum, Mike O'Hagan is getting a wriggle on. The gap to Roll Postma is now down to a whisker at 0.6 seconds.
Exactly what Mike O'Hagan needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Roll Postma.
Mike O'Hagan is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Roll Postma to 0.1 seconds. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
Looks like Wayne Pearson is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about finding the right balance between speed and control.
The action is non-stop as Armin Sunweiler shadows Wayne Pearson through every twist and turn, determined to claim 8th. Armin Sunweiler appears to be losing ground on Wayne Pearson. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Old Hall Corner. Hold that thought, hold the phone. Oh dear, Wayne Pearson has had an incident.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they've been looking at a decent result.
Things are going according to plan for Wayne Pearson, who is currently 10th. Tough break for Wayne Pearson, who has just lost a position.
Sucks to be them, Rob.
We got a close battle as Puppy Dog from Hell closes in on Mr. Bang.
The only thing closer than Puppy Dog from Hell to Mr. Bang right now is the paint on their cars. Talk about a close encounter.
Puppy Dog from Hell and Mr. Bang have a gap between M that's grown like Jack's beanstalk. We're talking 0.4 seconds now.
Puppy Dog from Hell has to keep their nose to the grindstone, even when the road gets rocky. If they can tighten up that gap, they might just bring the heat to Mr. Bang.
An impressive showing from Puppy Dog from Hell, who has gained positions and left Mr. Bang in the dust. It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Mike O'Hagan, who is currently in P3. But Roll Postma is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Mike O'Hagan. D-Max is giving it a red-hot go, but can't seem to muster the pace to keep up with Armin Sunweiler. It's like chasing a roux on a motorbike. It's a game of inches now as Serato tails D-Max closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top spot.
Serato needs to get more consistent. Hell, they have just put in a slower lap than D-Max.
Can Serato turn this around?
Serato is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 3.02 seconds down. Great driving from Serato, who has just gained a place and moved up to 8th.
Impressive. Serato is really showing their skill and determination out there.
The pressure is on for D-Max as they try to catch up to Serato.
Will D-Max be able to make a move and pass Serato?
Oh dear, D-Max has dropped down to 10th.
Yes, but there's still plenty of race left. D-Max needs to stay calm and focused and make their move when the time is right.
A tough moment for D-Max, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 12th.
That's gotta hurt. D-Max will be kicking themselves right now.
Disappointing for D-Max, they now find themselves in 12th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and D-Max needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
A setback for D-Max, who has just been passed. Heartbreak for D-Max as they slip down the field.
Definitely, but D-Max is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Oh dear, D-Max has dropped down to 14th.
Sucks to be them, Rob.
A tough moment for D-Max, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 14th.
That's gotta be frustrating.
Hold on a second, D-Max is in the pits. Well, it doesn't look like Serato is going to be much of a threat to anyone soon, let alone Armin Sunoiler.
It's not over till the checkered flag drops though, and it's important they don't lose concentration at this point.
A brilliant maneuver from Serato, who has just moved up the field. What a move. Serato has moved up to 8th.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Coming into Shell Oil's corner, the fight for second is heating up. Who will be the first to blink? It looks like Mike O'Hagan is making a move. The gap to Roll Postma is now down to 0.1 seconds. It's not coming up roses for Mike O'Hagan. They're trailing Roll Postma and the gap's on the rise. They don't seem to have a response. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Mike O'Hagan might be in a tight spot, but they can still spin this around. They just gotta focus on the track ahead and not let that gap turn into a canyon.
In your experience, Hal, what was the most important aspect of managing tire degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Rob, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and tire preservation was key to optimizing race pace and strategy.
Lars is placed 4th at the moment.
Yes, but they have to keep their focus and drive with intensity. There's still a long way to go in this race.
Oh my, Mike O'Hagan is hot on the tail of Roll Postma. As they come into Warwick Bridge, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside.
That's right, Rob. The pressure is palpable. The fans are on the edge of their seats waiting to see who will come out on top in this epic showdown.
It's looking good for Mike O'Hagan, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Roll Postma. It's starting to look like we might get a battle between Mike O'Hagan and Roll Postma. Things are looking as crook as Rookwood for Mike O'Hagan, lagging behind Roll Postma and the gap stretching out like a long country road. They'll need to find some extra grunt to flip this situation. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while.
This is what separates the good from the great, the ability to stay focused and perform under pressure.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Serato gaining places and Armin Sunoiler losing them.
Absolutely, Rob, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Serato can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
Serato is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with Armin Sunoiler at the moment. No room for error here. Lars is breathing down the neck of Roll Postma, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
Lars is following Roll Postma so closely, they could start charging them rent for occupying the same space on the track.
Big gains for Lars as they move up the field, leaving Roll Postma behind. Roll Postma wants to get into Lars' slipstream.
And they are poised to capitalize on any mistake, but who's going to make that mistake first?
It looks like Superman has found another gear in the last sector of the race.
You got this, keep your cool.
What a win. This is a historic moment for Superman, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision. Mike O'Hagan takes second place with a fantastic race.
Strong work securing second place, well done.
What a race from Lars. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium.